In a stunning turn of events that has sent shockwaves through the ongoing legal saga surrounding Diddy Combs, the woman who initially filed a lawsuit against the music mogul under the pseudonym Jane Doe has now stepped forward, revealing her identity and amplifying her powerful accusations. Chelsea Lovelace, a Florida business owner, entrepreneur, and model, has publicly attached her name to the allegations of a 4-year pattern of abuse, taking a bold step that could significantly impact the trajectory of the numerous legal battles facing Combs. This is not just another development in a sprawling case. It's the courageous decision of one woman to shed anonymity and speak her truth, potentially emboldening others and further intensifying the scrutiny on one of the music industry's most influential figures. For those who've been following the unfolding story, you'll recall that the initial lawsuit, filed anonymously by Jane Doe in September of last year, painted a disturbing picture. The allegations detailed a systematic pattern of manipulation and abuse allegedly orchestrated by Combs between 2021 and 2024. These accusations included claims that Combs pressured the anonymous accuser to travel frequently to meet him, coerced her into ingesting illicit substances, and forced her to engage in sexual acts with other individuals, both men and women, all while seemingly leveraging the financial allowance he provided as a means of control. These were serious claims, shrouded in anonymity, that nonetheless added fuel to the growing firestorm of allegations surrounding the entertainment mogul. After months of being known only as Jane Doe in court documents, the woman behind the explosive allegations has now chosen to come forward, identifying herself as Chelsea Lovelace. This significant move occurred on June 13th with the filing of an amended complaint in the New York Supreme Court, replacing the anonymity of the initial filing with her own name as the plaintiff. The timing of this reveal is particularly noteworthy. According to Lovelace's attorney, Joseph L. Ciaccio, this decision came as Combs' legal team was actively seeking a court ruling that would compel her to disclose her legal name. Rather than being forced into the open, Chelsea Lovelace chose to take control of her narrative and publicly identify herself on her own terms. Chelsea Lovelace is described as a Florida business owner, an entrepreneur, and a model, a woman with her own established identity now stepping into the harsh glare of public scrutiny to face her alleged abuser directly. In a statement released alongside the amended complaint, Chelsea Lovelace articulated the profound personal journey that led to her decision to come forward. She spoke of an initial period where she genuinely believed in a real connection with Combs, stating, "There was a time I truly believed we shared something real. In my heart, for a time, I believed he genuinely cared about me. That we both cared for one another in a way that meant something." However, this initial perception tragically dissolved over time. Lovelace continued, but over time, that illusion shattered. And with it, so did parts of me. What I once thought was love and loyalty quickly turned into manipulation, control, and abuse. I was not seen as a person with a soul, but as a pawn in a much larger game. I didn't want to believe it. I wrestled with God, with my heart, with my own silence. Crucially, Lovelace clarified her motivations, emphasizing that the lawsuit was not an act of revenge, but rather an act of release, of standing in my truth, of choosing healing over hiding. She powerfully stated that eventually, silence became too heavy to bear, and concluded with a message of hope and resilience. "I believe that light exposes what needs to be healed. And I believe that the truth, even when it hurts, is the beginning of freedom. Today, I choose to walk forward with my head held high and my voice intact." These are not the words of someone seeking mere notoriety, but of an individual who appears determined to reclaim her narrative and find healing through the power of her own voice. What makes Chelsea Lovelace's allegations particularly significant is how closely they mirror the harrowing testimony given by another of Combs' former partners, who was identified in federal court only by the pseudonym Jane. During Combs' ongoing criminal trial, Jane recounted a strikingly similar timeline and pattern of alleged abuse spanning from 2021 to 2024, the very same period outlined in Lovelace's lawsuit. Jane testified about being taken on multiple trips to the islands and being pressured to participate in so-called hotel nights with sex workers. Furthermore, she alleged that Combs paid her a substantial monthly rent of $10,000 but consistently threatened to revoke this financial support if she did not comply with his demands. The parallels between Jane's account and Lovelace's allegations are undeniable. Both women describe a relationship that began with perceived intimacy but allegedly devolved into manipulation and control, with Combs seemingly using his financial resources as leverage. The shared timeframe and the nature of the alleged coercion paint a concerning picture of a potential pattern of behavior. This alignment in their testimonies could prove to be a crucial element in the ongoing legal battles against Sean Combs, lending further weight to the accusations being made. In response to Chelsea Lovelace's amended complaint and her decision to publicly identify herself, Sean Combs' legal team issued a statement reiterating their unwavering stance. They told USA Today, "Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor." This statement reflects a continued denial of all misconduct allegations and a firm belief that the legal proceedings will ultimately exonerate Combs. It's a clear indication that the legal battle is far from over and that Combs' defense will likely center on disputing the factual basis of these and other accusations. This sets the stage for what will undoubtedly be a contentious and closely watched legal fight as Chelsea Lovelace's case moves forward. Chelsea Lovelace's lawsuit is far from an isolated incident. Since November 2023, Sean "Diddy" Combs has been hit with a barrage of civil lawsuits, many of them initially filed by unnamed accusers, alleging a disturbing pattern of sexual assault, abuse, and trafficking that reportedly dates back to the 1990s. These allegations span decades and involve numerous individuals, painting a troubling picture of alleged misconduct throughout his career. In addition to these civil suits, Combs is also facing serious criminal charges, including sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution, and racketeering, for which he has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The sheer volume and gravity of these legal challenges underscore the intense scrutiny and pressure Combs is currently under. Chelsea Lovelace's decision to reveal her identity adds another significant layer to this complex legal landscape, potentially influencing other ongoing cases and further shaping public perception of the allegations against the music mogul. Chelsea Lovelace's amended lawsuit provides a more detailed account of her alleged experiences with Sean Combs. She states that she first met him on November 5, 2020, during a 3-day trip to Turks and Caicos, for which Combs allegedly paid. Following this initial encounter, she claims he flew her back to his Miami estate via private plane and sent her home on November 9, 2020. According to the lawsuit, they began seeing each other regularly in early 2021. However, Lovelace alleges that her subsequent monthly trips to see Combs were not of her own volition, claiming that Combs and his associates used coercive and harassing language to compel her compliance. The amended complaint goes on to detail several disturbing alleged incidents, including instances of forced and coerced sexual acts with Combs, as well as with other individuals. Lovelace also recounts blacking out on multiple occasions due to alcohol and substances and the unsettling realization that Combs was allegedly tracking her phone. Furthermore, she describes Combs allegedly discouraging her from working and providing her with an allowance, which she claims he then used as leverage to exert control over her life. Interestingly, while Lovelace's initial complaint made mention of City Girls rapper Young Miami, whose legal name is Kershaw Brownlee, the amended filing does not include any reference to her. These specific details paint a stark picture of the alleged control and abuse Lovelace endured, further substantiating her claims against Sean Combs. Throughout her statement, Chelsea Lovelace's underlying motivations for revealing her identity and pursuing this lawsuit become strikingly clear. She emphasizes that her actions are not driven by a desire for revenge or personal gain, but rather by a profound need for release and a commitment to standing in my truth. Her choice to come forward is described as an integral part of her personal journey towards healing, a necessary step after a period where silence became too heavy to bear. By shedding the anonymity of Jane Doe, Lovelace is actively reclaiming her voice and agency, choosing to confront her alleged abuser directly and publicly.